Hi friends, this is Madhubalan. A lot of aspirants have been asking me how to make notes for UPSC examination. So today I have come up with this video to share some of my strategies which I use for making notes. I would say that my own notes which were made in a very effective way were very helpful for me. So let's start. One of the common questions aspirants ask is nowadays a lot of famous institute publish their own notes. They are already available in the market. So is there a need to make my own notes? Yes, in my opinion, making notes definitely helps, but only if an aspirant knows what to make notes of and how to make it. The purpose of making notes should be clear. First of all, we should understand that compilation of unique content, that is our notes, will give us a competitive advantage over other aspirants. Second thing is, our notes which we make shouldn't be static. They should have the scope for editing it later on. So let's take an example of my own notes and see how I made a notes for a particular topic. So I felt like this topic called deradicalization can be very important for mains. So what I did was I allocated a whole page for this topic. So as you can see here, I noted down relevant information. Whenever I found relevant information, I used to note down in this page. I used boxes, circles, dots so that I know which points are important, and this way it was very easy to remember. It took almost 3 months to complete this page, but it was all worth it. At the end of 3 months, I had a very unique notes for this topic, which was useful not only for the general studies paper as well as the essay paper also. So, an aspirant can follow this method as well as use the internet to gather some extra points which can add value to this topic. So this will explain that this notes which I have made will make a huge difference and will bring me huge dividends. And the next thing is you should also remember that our own notes can help us remember things easily and we will retain it for a long durations. And one more thing is making our own notes will help us bring information from multiple sources into one place. So let me try to explain this with a particular example. So I took up a topic called MNREGA, which is called the Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So I'll show you my notes. So I used to make use of flowcharts and tables, and I used to highlight important points in different color pens so that I know which points are important and which keywords are important. So this way I used to note down the positives of the schemes, negatives of the schemes, some important facts which I find it very relevant to the scheme. So this is a whole compilation, a holistic compilation of the concept which I found in different sources. So this is how an aspirant should make notes. So I'll give you some important points that an aspirant should follow while making notes. So he can make small introductions, a brief description of the concepts, a catchy facts which he or she might find, disadvantages of the concept, and how to improve it. The next important questions aspirant asks is, should I use mobile phones or tablets to make notes or can I continue with notebooks itself? I would say that it's completely a personal choice. But having said that, I would also say that the note should be easily accessible and editable. A person should be comfortable in assessing it. I personally never depended on mobile devices for note making. I always preferred a notebook because what I felt was looking on electronic screen will make my eyes strain, so I preferred a notebook. Another important question is, should we make notes for everything like NCERTs, Lakshmikant, Spectrum book and everything? So I feel this is the most important question because I myself have seen many aspirants wasting time making notes of all the reference books and even the NCERTs. If you start making notes of everything under the sun, the whole idea of making notes will be defeated. You should note that note making exercise should minimize your time of revision and it should not be an added burden. Books like Lakshmikant and Spectrum are complete in themselves. You can mark and underline in the book itself if need be. NCRTs are basic books, very easy to understand, they are simple to understand, plus they will be around your reference for so long time. So what you can do is whenever you find something related or extra reading material, you can note down in the books itself. There is no need to make separate notes. So another important question among aspirants is, should we make notes from the Hindu? So if yes, how to make it? I would say that making notes from the Hindu is highly recommended. But simply copying notes from the paper on a daily basis and accumulating thick registers full of news is a useless exercise. I'll tell you how to do it more smartly and effectively. One should understand that newspapers are not published for UPSC aspirants. Therefore, they contain a vast amount of random information good for general public. So it's important that you memorize the entire syllabus for prelims as well as mains for each paper of mains also before proceeding with the notes making from the newspaper. For example, for prelims, one can note down the important facts that may be relevant to the science and technology portion, environment portion, as well as international organizations, etc. For mains, a detailed elaborate strategy is needed. I'll tell you how. The most effective way of making notes for current affairs will be to divide the notebook into different parts. That is, each notebook for GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, and so on. Whatever new information one encounters from the newspaper which is related to the particular syllabus should be immediately noted down. This way, the notes will be automatically organized paper wise and also syllabus wise, and it will become very easy to refer, revise, and update later on. So, the information gathered over time can be used as examples and illustrations in the essay paper also. The last question aspirants ask is how to make my own notes interesting so that I don't feel bored. You have to keep in mind that notes are a self reference material so that they can be made in a way you can understand and remember best. These are a few ways in which you can prepare notes for better understanding. The first thing is use of flowcharts and diagrams. I've already shown you how I use flowcharts to make my revision systematic. And the second way is to use your own native language. Use of some words can make you remember certain concepts in a very easy way. And the third way is use of mnemonics. This makes remembering some very difficult facts in a very easy way. And the fourth option is to use and draw your own mind maps or refer online sources for mind maps for some complex topics. Now I will give an example of how I used a mnemonic to remember the Panch Prayags. So you know that Prayags are confluence of different rivers at different points. These Panch Prayags are always difficult for an aspirant to remember. So this can be remembered using a mnemonic Dr. KV. This D stands for Dev Prayag, R for Rudra Prayag, K for Karna Prayag, and V for Vishnu Prayag. The things mentioned below, BA, MA, and PADA, stand for different rivers. So, how I remembered this was you do BA first and then go on to do MA degree, and then you complete post graduation to get a doctorate. So, this BA stands for Bhagirathi as well as Alaknanda. MA stands for Mandagini Alaknanda, P for Pindari Alaknanda, and D for Dauliganga Alaknanda. So this is a very easy way to remember the rivers in a very systematic way so that even when UPSC asks in a very complex way, you will be able to find the correct answer. Now I will give an example of a mind map. So this is an example of a mind map which can be used to remember the different rulers who came from Arabs and the very important points you should remember related to each ruler. So these are the four ways which you can use to make your own notes very interesting. So thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions please comment below. Thank you.